$32 million didn't just vanish. It was moved, deliberately, and they used her name to do it. Then they locked her out, hours before the freeze. They thought she'd stay quiet. They miscalculated. This part is where everything flipped.
This is what happened next.
I wasn't supposed to see the number. Not the exact number. Not the way it moved. Not the way it disappeared. $32 million vanished in a single year-end entry that should have triggered 3 layers of internal controls. I stared at the screen long enough for my breath to fog the top edge of the monitor. Then my email pinged. Sharp, cold, unceremonious. Effective immediately, your access is suspended pending review. No note, no explanation, no meeting, just a lockout. Hours before the holiday freeze on financial reporting, where every discrepancy becomes a liability and every mistake becomes a crisis. At that moment, I didn't know the full picture, but I did know one thing. This wasn't an error. Someone wanted me blind, quiet, sidelined, and they chose the wrong week to do it. My name is Emily Carter, Senior Manager for Internal Controls at Northstone Financial Group. 11 years of spotless records, flawless audits, and late nights reconciling the numbers no one else wanted to deal with. I was the person who noticed irregularities early, the person who asked questions, the person who read footnotes and contract amendments and the pages no one bothers to scroll to. It was specialized work, invisible work, until something went wrong. And something had gone very, very wrong. Christmas decorations lined the edges of cubicles. A paper menorah someone printed out hung sideways on a cubicle wall. Little strings of colored bulbs framed the hallways, blinking in and out beneath the buzzing fluorescent lights. The whole place looked like a forced corporate holiday postcard. Festive, cheerful, hollow. Leadership had been repeating the same line all week. Don't slow us down. We need clean numbers before the 23rd. That tone always meant someone upstairs was feeling pressure. The kind of pressure that leads to decisions people hope no one questions. The kind of pressure that leaves someone like me, someone who lives and breathes audit trails, standing in the way. And recently, my manager, Daniel Rhodes, hadn't made eye contact with me at all. Not in the elevator, not in meetings, not even when he passed me in the hallway. For 2 weeks, he'd been avoiding me like eye contact might trigger something he didn't want to face. And now, with my system access disabled, the avoidance made perfect sense. It wasn't accidental. It was preparation. I stepped into the hallway, noticing the string of fake snowflakes taped to the glass panels, when my phone buzzed. A text from Lena, a financial reporting analyst I'd mentored since her first internship. Call me now. The urgency in those 3 words made something in my stomach tighten. I ducked into an empty conference room, the glass walls half-frosted for privacy, though visibility was always partial. Lena, what's wrong? Her voice came through shaky. Emily, did you approve the reclassification? The one from ops budget to capital development? Daniel told everyone you signed off. I froze. I didn't approve anything. I haven't touched those numbers. Silence. Then a shaky inhale. He said you did. He said you were backing his year-end acceleration plan. My fingers tightened around the phone. Lena, how much? 32 million. Exactly 32. My heart hammered once, hard. And there's no supporting documentation. None, she whispered. He told us you'd add it later, after the freeze. That wasn't just sloppy accounting. That was a compliance breach with real corporate liability, and leadership knew it. Lena hesitated. Emily, what's going on? There was no point lying. I don't know yet, but someone is using my name to move money without audit support. I marched straight to HR. Their office was supposed to feel warm. Holiday candles, a tiny Christmas tree, peppermint candy bowls, but the air inside felt colder than outside. Marissa, the HR manager, closed her laptop the second I stepped in. Emily, now's not ideal. We're preparing for the holiday staffing cycle. Her tone was controlled, overly controlled. I need to report a compliance issue, I said. It's high risk and time sensitive. Her smile faltered into something brittle. Is this related to your access suspension? The way she said it made my skin prickle. My access was suspended without explanation, and someone is falsifying my approvals. She folded her arms. Defensive pose, closed-off posture. Well, Daniel told us there were concerns about your performance metrics this quarter. My mouth parted in disbelief. That's not accurate. She gave me a pitying, almost rehearsed look. Emily, year-end is stressful. Maybe take the next few days off. We'll revisit after the holidays. There it was. The classic HR maneuver. Gentle tone, soft words, weaponized dismissal. They weren't planning to review anything. They just wanted me out of the way. Marissa, I said slowly, I'm reporting a potential accounting manipulation. This requires immediate escalation. Her voice went cold. Daniel assured us he has oversight. We trust his judgment. They had already chosen a side, and I wasn't on it. When I walked out of HR, the entire floor felt different. Like the walls themselves knew something I didn't. My phone buzzed again. Another analyst. Emily, did you approve? Then another, and another. 3 people, all asking about signatures attached to my name. Someone was using my identity as a rubber stamp for a massive year-end shift. And then came the next plot twist, an email from a senior director I had never interacted with. Subject line, urgent, year-end variance explanation, due 5 p.m. today. Side, Emily, we need written confirmation that you approved the December 18th reclassification. Please attach supporting calculations. They wanted it in writing. My written confirmation, my approval, my liability. I typed slowly, carefully. I did not approve the reclassification, and my system access has been suspended without explanation. I request an immediate compliance review. I hit send. The email bounced back, blocked by an automated rule. Someone with high-level permissions had created a filter to intercept my replies. They weren't just trying to pressure me. They were trying to silence me. I walked outside for air. The winter wind sliced through my coat. Holiday lights wrapped around lampposts, flickering gently despite the cold. The sidewalk was lined with wreaths and red bows. Families walked by carrying shopping bags, smiling, laughing, ready for Christmas week. And I felt like I was standing behind glass, watching the normal world go by from the outside. I thought about my mother's Christmas dinner, the list she sent me of dishes she wanted help prepping, my niece asking if I'd help her decorate cookies. Every year I promised I'd spend more time with them. This year especially. This year, I'd meant it. But here I was, freezing on a downtown sidewalk while my career wobbled on the edge of something dark. I closed my eyes, inhaled, and something inside me clicked into place. Not anger, not panic. Something steadier. If they were willing to risk $32 million, they were hiding more than bad decisions. They were hiding a system failure. And people who are desperate make mistakes. I opened my eyes, squared my shoulders, and walked back inside. If you've ever had a moment where someone in power rewrote the truth about you, or tried to silence you, or expected you to fold under pressure, you're not alone, and you don't have to carry that feeling by yourself. Back inside, a dim light caught my eye. Daniel's office, dark, empty, but his coat was still draped over the chair, and his computer was still on. He was avoiding more than just me. He was hiding from responsibility. Down the hall, the large conference room glowed through frosted glass. The silhouettes inside were unmistakable. The CFO, Daniel, and a senior VP. I moved close enough to hear the raised whispers. We can't redo the financials. The board presentation is Friday. She wasn't supposed to notice. HR already documented performance concerns. If she pushes this, we're exposed. Contain it. Keep her out. My heartbeat thudded in my ears. Then the CFO's voice. What about the audit committee? If she escalates... Daniel interrupted. She won't escalate. She's emotional. She won't risk her job over a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. They weren't planning to fix the numbers. They were planning to bury me under them. At 5:12 p.m., my system access abruptly returned. A short email from IT. Access restored per leadership request. No apology, no context, just an opening. Bait, really. They wanted me to finalize the documentation, clean up their mess, legitimize their decisions. I opened the ledger. Same unsupported entries. Same missing audit trail. Same smell of panic covered in corporate perfume. A notification flashed on my screen. Reminder, CEO holiday address. 15 minutes. The entire company would gather. All leadership. HR, finance, everyone. If they wanted me silent, the safest place for the truth was a room full of witnesses. I walked into the auditorium. Christmas lights wrapped around the railings. A wreath hung behind the podium. Soft instrumental carols drifted from the speakers. Employees chatted, exchanged holiday cards, set down coats and purses. Leadership stood near the front, their smiles stiff, ready for scripted warmth. As I watched Daniel whisper something to the CFO, a calm sense of clarity moved through me. I wasn't afraid anymore. I wasn't even anxious. I was ready. The CEO stepped up to the microphone. The room quieted. I raised my hand. "Before we begin," I said, my voice steady, "I need to report a material discrepancy in our year-end financials." The room froze. Heads turned. Whispers died in midair. Daniel's face drained of color. The CFO stiffened. The CEO blinked. "Emily, what are you referring to?" I spoke clearly, each word crisp. "A $32 million reclassification lacks documentation, violates internal controls, and was attributed to me without approval. This triggers mandatory escalation to the audit committee." Silence. Heavy. Then a ripple of murmurs. Daniel tried to regain control. "She's misunderstanding." "No," I said, cutting him off. "I have the audit trail. The entries were made under your credentials, and HR documented performance issues that don't exist." Gasps. A wave of shock swept through the room. The CEO's face hardened. "Daniel, my office, now." Security stepped closer. The CFO followed wordlessly. HR trailed behind, pale and shaking. The auditorium buzzed with disbelief. People who'd watched me quietly carry the department for years now understood how much leadership had leaned on me, and how quickly they tried to silence me when the truth became inconvenient. I felt a long, quiet exhale leave my chest. The pressure that had been crushing me all day loosened like a knot finally coming undone. The system had cracked open, and the truth was no longer something I held alone. The next morning, the audit committee contacted me directly. Not through Daniel, not through HR. Directly. They validated my findings within hours. A formal investigation was initiated. An interim reporting structure put in place. Daniel was placed on administrative leave pending investigation. The CFO was interviewed by external counsel, and HR was directed to undergo a compliance review of their own conduct. When I stepped outside that morning, the city was dusted in fresh snow. Light flakes drifted down, catching on my coat. Holiday lights shimmered across the street. Somewhere in the distance, a church bell chimed. I breathed in the cold December air. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, I felt steady, present, free. It wasn't the Christmas I expected, but it was the Christmas where I finally chose myself. The Christmas where clarity cut through fear. The Christmas where silence broke. Cleanly, powerfully, decisively, and the world didn't end. It shifted. And if you've ever carried the weight of doing the right thing, even when every force around you pushed the other way, your courage matters. More than you know. Thanks for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself tonight.